Of course, it's hard to tell that this is working, and indeed, generally speaking, this is such a dangerous ability that we should really write some tests for this. So let me show you how to do that. We'll start by editing the users.yaml. We want to make one of our fixture users an admin, so let's go to here, make Michael example an admin, admin true. And before we've been putting these access control tests in the controller level, so the user's controller test, so let's continue with that practice. So let's do this. Test should redirect destroy when not logged in. So we can do this, assert redirected to login URL. But I want to go a step further and actually assert that there is no change in the user count. Remember, that's assert no difference. We saw this once before. Let me show you. It's in the user signup test. We verified that invalid signup information does not change the user count. So assert no difference. And here we're going to do the same thing, user.count. Remember, what goes inside this block is the thing that won't change that account. And in this case, we're going to issue a delete request directly to the destroy action. And the ID is @user. This should be passing. And now let's test the other filter. This is here that we want to make sure the user is an admin. So let's log in as the other user. Right up here, we've got this other user is not an admin. Only the first of the fixture users is an admin, just the first one here. Log in as the other user. And we want the same thing here, just the same behavior. Oh no, it's not exactly the same, right? Because here, the user should be prompted to log in, but here, the user is actually redirected to the root URL. So that should work. There we go. Now, at this point, with something so delicate and so important as controlling the ability to delete users, I really like to go in just to double check and verify that if I change the code, it'll go red. Save it, go green. Comment this out, go red. Uncomment it, go green. So it doesn't take very long, but now I'm very confident that these tests will catch any regressions in the model we're using to restrict access to the destroy action. This is a great test for this low-level access control, but I do want to have an integration test as well that basically simulates the going in and clicking on the delete link. So let's put that in the user's index test. And actually, I'm just going to put it in the same test. I'm going to say that this is the index as an admin, including pagination and delete links. And I'm going to put an admin in here. And then the non-admin will be the other user. Actually, it could be any of them, but let's just use Archer. Let's make a test. The index as non-admin. We've already checked that non-admins can't hit this destroy action, but we haven't verified that, say, the links don't appear. So let's go here and log in as the admin. Get the user's path, assert the template. This is all the same. What we want to do is inside here, assert that there's a delete link. So let's make a variable for this. Let's just pull out the first page of users like this, and then iterate through. And we can just do this here, copy. It's going to be the same path. The text is going to be delete, and the method should be delete. It's not too surprising that there's a failure, because remember that admins don't have delete links. So let's put this inside an unless user equals @user or @admin. Let's tab this over, and so we should make this assertion only if the user is not an admin. All right, so that's now passing. That's great. So this tests for each of these delete links. And let's actually issue a delete request to make sure that it actually deletes the user. So let's do this here. We want to assert a difference of -1 in the user count to indicate that one disappears. And let's just send a delete request to the user path. Remember, that's this here. And let's issue the delete request to the user path of non-admin. So all we have to do now is just fill this in here, test index as non-admin. This is a lot easier. We just want to log in as the non-admin. Actually, we can just copy this here. It's almost the same. These two things are the same, except for the identity of the user. So this is non-admin, and then all we want to do is just assert that there are no delete links. So let's say assert select anchor tag with text of delete, and the count of those should be 0. All right. Oh, and I just realized there's one little refinement we want to add. I mentioned way back when we were discussing the user's index that we wanted to link the gravatars to the users. So let's do that. Let's link to the gravatar for the user, and then the URL should be the user path. We can just type user. Now this looks kind of weird, just to have user size 50 user. It should look weird. This is difficult to parse visually, and indeed Ruby will have trouble parsing it. You can see here we get a syntax error. So in order to make this unambiguous, we need to put in parentheses to indicate which things are the argument of the gravatar for method. So we can do this. There we go. Should be green now. Great. And now if we go to our application and refresh the user's index, we should be able to click on these. Great.